Welcome to Java. Thank you for joining me. It's October 17th, 2024. It is Thursday. There has been quite a few developments that have happened, not just in the markets overnight globally that are affecting the open this morning, but also quite a few events globally that I would like to go over today. So quite a bit. Let's go ahead and get started, as always, with our risk. So main risk indicators, starting with the MMRI, pretty stable, actually on the back of the 10-year yield, now at 4.034, and we're watching the dollar relative in strength coming down a bit slightly. Now this gave room to stocks as we saw going green, but there's more to those than that. So with this fear greed meter, same as yesterday, still in solid greed territory, but out of the extreme area. So yesterday did basically a slow grind higher as what the probabilities kind of expected. So with that, we're seeing the sentiment is basically by the dip, still working on what happened yesterday. Now we've got TSMC, which I'll speak about in just a bit, with the AI counterpart, artificial intelligence. We're getting jobless claims this morning prior to the market open, so that could have an effect as well. And with energy, we're watching a shift into nuclear. So that's why I had that on the front end. We've got all of the major Mag 7 between now Google, Meta, Microsoft, all looking into nuclear power now as their main, because artificial intelligence is soaking up so much of this. So with this, we're watching the opening of the United States stock market basically in the green. We've got volatility or the fear index down slightly. So that's lending a little bit more. But with that, we've still got gold is now above 2,700. This is major mark. There's been a few that were calling for 3,000 earlier in the year, which seemed far-fetched at the time, but it's a distinct possibility. Probability showing a pullback prior to it doing that because it is hitting resistance again, but at the same time could, once it recovers from that, head towards that 3,000 level toward the end of the year, which is now only a couple of months away. Now with this, we've got silver futures looking green, silver similar at the 32 level. That is a bit of resistance, so we'll see how those go. We've got crude oil recovering a bit after the Middle Eastern issues, and we'll speak a little bit more about what's going on over there as well. So with this, the jobs report basically is going to be the main mover of the day prior to market. So after that, if that is basically as expected, relatively neutral, the markets can have a continuance. So with this, we're going to have some singular outliers, and I'll speak about those in a moment. But the calendar today, prior to the market open, retail sales, jobless claims, those are the large ones. 10 a.m. also watching home builder confidence index and building permits, housing starts early tomorrow morning prior to the market open. So watching some home stocks. With this, we've got NVIDIA, AMD, Micron, ARM, and other chip makers are significantly higher prior to the market open. A lot of that is because Taiwan Semiconductor, basically they have profits up 54%. They're talking about artificial intelligence being real. So yesterday, after the disappointment from another chip sector company, TSMC is Asian market, so they reported basically overnight to the New York Stock Exchange. So that's giving quite the boost to that entire sector, as well as the technology sector in general. So that's showing a bit of grade. With that, we're also looking at some banks. Now we've got NYCB set for corporate rebranding. Now, this bank didn't go out entirely. They basically set for restructuring. If you don't remember all of the drama that has been going on with those, now we're quietly beginning to see a few more small bank stories coming back into the news. We're seeing Citizens also having issues with their third quarter earnings basically because they've got a large amount of office commercial real estate loans on their books. So they are one of the ones that are struggling. As I said before, there's going to be quite a few more that need to either merge, foreclose, basically shut out completely, or be purchased by the mega banks merged in. So we've got a few individual stock movers, and here's basically what's going on behind them. Lucid stock dropped 15% because basically they're in a lot of trouble. They had some larger losses that they're looking at forwards with the company having smaller sales, larger losses. This is also tied in with the Chinese electric vehicle boom because they can just produce them at much less expensive prices. And we're basically in a deflationary environment globally, less spending going on. So they're taking a hit. We've got Raytheon trades under the ticker RTX. Now they got hit with major penalty, basically their bribery charges over in Qatar. So with this, they're basically saying that all of these, they've set aside $1.24 billion to settle these lawsuits. So this is basically a cost of doing business. Major defense contractor basically got caught doing something they shouldn't, but they're still allowed to do business. They just have to pay a fine and they can go on. So with this, we've got another Japanese car exports to Russia soaring. Now, you may say, hold on, and you should. Japan is basically a friend and trading partner in Maine to the west, namely United States. So seeing that they're still doing large trade business from Russia should be an eye opener and a look into what's going on behind the scenes. Japan does own a good deal of United States Treasury, as I say. So the whole yen carry trade and other things going on, this is much larger story than what is showing on the surface, just that their exports to Russia are soaring. So we'll keep an eye on that as well as some other things. A short note on Robinhood, you'll see them rising, and this is because now they're offering futures trading, index options as well. And with this expansion, basically they are they're basically gaining interest by a large portion of the newer retail traders coming into the sector. So with this, got one short here, GM. They've been having a hard time right now, but aside from that, they've got a very cool truck coming out. This is their next generation tactical vehicle. Now, while this is meant for obviously military implications, just wanted to show you this because I know you want this truck because I do. Very cool truck. Anyway, we've got Uber exploring a takeover bid for Expedia. So you're going to see both of those having some action prior to the market open. Travel website with Uber. It's quite a good pair to show moving forward. But if this bid does not go through, we're going to watch a drop with that as well. So caution on that one, but could be a good day trade. So I want to bring up, there's, as I said, quite a bit more, try to get through these, but we've got BRICS basically challenging the United States EU dominance. We've been watching this. But they're shifting their global power, not just with currency that they're now using to trade, but also their production eclipsing the G7. They now have the power to move the markets. So this is something that should stay on the radar. So moving forward with the cryptocurrencies and the exchanges and all of this trade going forward is shifting. We've got, they're reporting the United States lagging behind in global stablecoin adoption. This is according to Chain Analysis. So stablecoins basically are what are going to be the shift to the CBDCs. With this, we've got Ripple talking about RLUSD. We've been speaking about Ripple for the past while now, actually. But they've got a regulatory compliant stablecoins. This could become the one. They've got blockchain infrastructure provider now putting this forward. And the way that they're going to put this out, they're listing the exchanges now. Uphold, Bitstamp, Bitso, MoonPay, Independent Reserve, CoinMina, and Bullish are basically going to help with this. So if you haven't looked at this or don't see this coming, just be aware. We've also got Discord on cryptocurrencies coming out tonight, basically at 5 p.m. So a couple of other things. We've got Tesla moving their entire $765 million in Bitcoin. Now they've held this stash since 2022. They're moving them to unknown wallets. So they're taking, pardon the pun, taking their own keys, as you should as well. Now, these are not moving to larger exchanges, so they're not looking towards that, basically indicating not looking towards trading them off or selling them. So, Tesla holding their Bitcoin. We've got Larry Fink from BlackRock saying Bitcoin is transcending US politics, basically saying that he's not sure if either president or any candidate would make a difference, that the utilization of digital assets is going to become more of a reality worldwide. And this is being proven. We've been talking about this all moving, whether you like cryptocurrency or not, it is the way moving forward. So a little bit of proof of this, we had Italy. They want to get a part of this prior to any of this happening. So they're looking at raising their capital gains tax on Bitcoin to 42% from 26%. That's almost crazy, significant increase. However, we've also got Ireland drafting urgent crypto laws prior to the EU money laundering rules. So, emergency regulatory cryptocurrency laws. What could possibly go wrong? You ask, I ask. So, a little bit of updates on the Warfront, because we are in a war economy. We've got United States bombers now hitting targets in Yemen. They're using the B-2 aircraft. Now, under the auspice of it saying that it is Houthi weapons, they need to hit these deep storage facilities. But this very dangerous expansion of the war, and now directly related. So they, with this, they also had a Growler aircraft. Now this is on domestic soil. They crashed in Washington State, but now they're looking to them. This just showing the ramping up of what they're doing with the weaponry, the systems. Now with the, basically with the troops, they are gearing them up to fighting quote unquote dirty. Basically, the army's plan to survive in WIM, a doomsday war. Now, this is for chemical, radioactive, nuclear possibilities. You can see it's got the chem mask, and then also what they call protective gear in the case of these. So, with all of this, we've got US announcing a new Ukraine package, such as sending now billions and billions of dollars more. Now, United States is getting more concerned over North Korea, because they are sending not just military support in the form of weapons, but also, as we were speaking about yesterday, in troops to what they're calling Russia's war, but it's United States war as well by proxy via Ukraine. And Ukraine now dragging in another basically player in this. They're getting tanks from an unexpected source, basically Australia. They're sending them all of their decommissioned M1 Abrams, quite a few, actually more than America has sent. So with all of this ramping up these scale wars, it's not going to stop. The good news of this is that it is bolstering the United States economy, and by proxy, also the German economy, as well as several others. So with this, if you're in the defense stocks, just beware of RTX and others can get hit by unexpected news, although temporarily. So with this, I wish you all a wonderful day, and until I see you again, my friends, as always, stay free.